Hello and welcome back to Adventure's Edge, Heroes of the Vale, episode number 14. Hello. I had to pause there because I was looking at my sheet.
To see what number we were on.
What number we're at.
Would you be mad if I wrote lyrics to that intro music?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Are you like you want to actually sing during the intro?
As Zinnia, right? Yeah.
I think you need to call this if it is a bluff.
I don't know what those lyrics would be. I don't know. It just popped into my head. Because I suddenly wanted to blurt out in the middle of the intro music. And I had to stop myself. So
you just want to have an excuse for just blurting out randomly.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah. I say perhaps we add that to the list for Patreon people. Right? They can get the exclusive song.
The exclusive recording.
It'll be on its own feed. This is the Patreon. The only difference is that Zinnia sings the intro.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think we want to actually get people to
I was going to say,
give us money.
Can you refund Patreon?
Oh.
That's
did I go too far?
Yeah.
Is that what did it?
I'm wounded. You cut me till the core. Okay, sorry. Yes, we're on episode 14.
We are. Yeah.
And we're just chilling.
Yep.
Yeah, we were successful.
This is the chilling episode. Yeah, well, we sort of had a little bit of that. We had our recap at the end of episode 13. We kind of decompressed. We spent a little time.
We did.
We marinated in the moment.
Ooh.
Okay.
Back to life.
Yeah.
Back to reality.
Yeah, I don't feel like that happens enough in a normal tabletop game. I think it's just continually plowing on to the next adventure and trying to do something a little different.
Are we going to Skyrim this day 512 playing Skyrim of sitting around, cleaning the cabin and
decorating.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Moving one armor stand across the house.
Did we all do that?
Everybody.
Yeah. If you played it for that long.
I had that one room where I just started throwing stuff into it. And so the entire room was just literally this mountain of magic items. And then because of the physics, every now and then, if you step into it, things start flinging around and it's like utter chaos.
You're just trying to pack the whole place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so much ridiculous. I spent 500 hours at least on that game.
So that's what Duran is doing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to, before we get to that, I don't know. Do we need a recap? We kind of recapped the end of the show. I guess we maybe do a really quick. Did somebody have a quick summary? Did you guys kind of think about
someone
that?
Said something about it. Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
They all look at me. I always have a recap written.
All right. Well, we should keep that going. This feels like a good opener. So yeah, it is the recap there, Trump.
Right. Well, we are officially heroes, or something like that. After knocking down barricades, finding old treasure, clearing out, even defeating the tempting lure of ancient mysterious dungeons, and certainly filled with glorious treasures, we instead retrieved all the needed components for the Black Mold Plague, and returned to town via the river. We worked with the local alchemist to create the cures we needed to scatter all around the town to heal the populace. And, well, now what is next? Can Tommy return to a life after this adventure? What will Daerun do now that he's on his own? And we Fae, is it possible? Can we return to the forest after seeing so many interesting things? We will have to find out together.
We will. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up 2 weeks from the adventure, but we're going to do some quick recaps, some little short vignettes to sort of give you a sense of a few things that happened and move the story along. So the first thing we're going to sort of recap. And if you guys feel like you want to get in and do a little role playing, or if you feel like you can kind of just visualize it in your head, what it was like, because I don't want to deprive you of any good moments, but post, bringing the cure, you guys basically all went home and slept, right? And then you got up the next day and word was beginning to spread that the cure's out and people were starting to get better. And so there was this sort of, this mixed reaction because there was a lot of people who were sad. Obviously, they're like 5 people died, but it could have been 30. So you guys really saved a lot of the town. And so like that day, you start getting little like people coming by wherever you're at, and like the thank yous started kind of pouring in. And by the end of the day, you had an invitation from the mayor to have a little like thank you dinner at the Howling Hound.
Potluck.
A little bit of that, yeah. And I actually, because you probably hadn't seen.
I figured people would be bringing over like hot dishes, thinking me.
I was literally like, I kid you not, I was thinking, you know what? That's exactly what that would be like, right? So I put together. Oh, that's the wrong map.
This is my favorite hot dog casserole. I love it.
I put together a little party over here at the Raven Rock map. It was just, I was bored. Where it just showed, because you could see the map, and I've been really kind of expanding the Raven Rock map out.
See that?
And this is another thing where this really isn't going to come out like narratively, the city itself, because it's got its own personality. And I don't really know how the listeners get engaged. I've been working on taking some screen grabs and things, but it's not like we're going to have episodes where you guys are going to go door to door and like, oh, what's in this shop and who are those people? But I literally have been fleshing out the town, all these people. So you can kind of see the interior of the Howling Hound, and there was a little party scene going on.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't meant necessarily to actually like try to role play the scenario, but it was just to help give you guys a little visualization, because basically a lot of people showed up. There's probably about 50 people there. So it wasn't like the whole town, because the town itself has like 1,800 people. But it was a pretty big crowd, and it was really just an opportunity for a lot of people to come by and thank you personally for finding the cure. And it was like all the people that are connected to the people who were sick, basically. So, yeah. So it was a really nice opportunity for people to interact with you. And that was what I was going to leave that at. So you guys had a nice time, however you wish to envision that. And like that would be a thing that happened. And I mean, does that work for everybody?
So does that mean that the people in the town are friendly towards Faye now,
Well, sure.
by and large?
So the idea there was that it wasn't that people were unfriendly. It's just that there's people that are, skeptical, or maybe a little fearful, maybe a little untrusting, because Faye, across the board can be very fickle, right? There's all sorts of Faye, and we kind of covered that. Like they're not always as sweet and kind and loving and as Zinnia.
Charming.
Charming as Zinnia. I mean,
Delightful.
delightful.
Isn't that what zinnia means in some language? Delightful?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yes, the delightful throat stabber.
I don't think I stabbed any throats.
I believe it was an eyeball.
Eyeball.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. Delightful eyeball stabber.
Eyeball.
Stabber. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I did want to so the mayor's name is Bernard Sackville. And
who you'll be running against.
that is really important to know who your competition is.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tall, lean man, slightly heavy set, clean shaven, shaved head. And he's one of those people where he's extremely charismatic. And people don't know too much about his background, but because he was like a former merchant and was not a native of the area. And so none of you really before had ever really like spent time talking to him. I mean, if anybody, Tommy, you probably interacted with him at some point, but his job, he kind of runs the town. And so he just really gave you a nice evening and was very appreciative. And on behalf of the town, extended that, the thank you for saving all the people. And he does translate that thanks into a reward on behalf of Raven Rock. So, and he wasn't really sure. We just talked about this before we got on air, whether the Fae would want coins, but he doesn't really know what else to offer you. So he's going to offer you collectively some money that you can do with as you wish. I think we're going to do some shopping off air. So he gives the 5 of you 150 coins, like together, not each, which silver coins, like as a thank you. But you do find over the next 2 weeks that many other people come and also individually express their thanks, and by bringing you foods and by bringing you little gifts, and not necessarily like family heirlooms or really expensive things, but trinkets and novelties and things that they feel were important to them to let you know that they appreciated you. So that was really what I was kind of imagining the first part of the week was. But then I also really wanted to real quick just have like individually like a quick little scene for your characters, because we have some perhaps unanswered questions. And I did want to start with Darun, because Darun, of all people, I mean, you now have had a personal loss here.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So we're just going to start, unless anybody else has anything they want to throw in. Okay. I'm thinking it's been a few days. Umros has been laid to rest out in the cemetery. There were some legal things, and a barrister came and spoke to you, and Gilda's coming. She basically spoke on your behalf that on his deathbed, Umros, he had already filled these papers out, but basically just bequeathed you everything he had, which, you really didn't think was all that much.
I guess. I mean, I really didn't go through his personal belongings that much, like a couple things, but I will. I first have to figure out. I think I need to get messages back to the Earth Elders, and I don't know how. So I'm going to put that pin in that.
Yeah.
But I will. I mean, if I've got his stuff, whatever it is, I'll go through it and see if there's anything that is helpful.
Sure. Well, so he's a small 2-story cottage style house. I mean, it is on the map. I didn't map the interior. It's pretty simple. If you feel like that's something, we were just joking about Skyrim. If that's feel like something you want to like.
No, I will have a house. I will own a deed to something. I could do that. Yeah, I could handle that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll take a deed to a house.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nothing.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it does mean you have to pay, taxes, but
I don't know. Do heroes pay taxes?
Yeah, they do.
Oh. I'll just say, if anybody comes up to me and keeps on giving me food, to say, you can just go pay my taxes.
Chip in on that. Yeah. So there's all the different things you would expect to find in kind of an older man's house. He wasn't really a big collector. Guild helped keep the place clean. He wasn't a hoarder and all that. But, and not to spend too much time, but going through it, you do find, one of his journals that talks about the Earth Elders, and you find out, like, speaking of, like, how to reach out and send some messages, who to communicate with. But he didn't really, like, write you a long letter or anything. It was just like a short sort of deathbed note that he probably had meant to write, but basically it was like a paragraph that was just written, like addressed to you. And it was, Darun, if we don't meet again, as you know by now, everything is yours. I am sorry I was not able to teach you everything that I needed to. You have to look below the surface to find the answers from now. Good luck, Umros. And that was it. This little cryptic, sparse
He was
note.
always a vague man.
He was like, it's extremely vague.
Yeah.
So the only other thing you ended up finding, amidst all the things, you found like his house key and some other simple things. But Gilda specifically made sure that you found this large brass key that she said he like pressed into her hand. It's one of the last things he said, and said to make sure you have it. And you had the opportunity to kind of like try to figure out what that went to. And I'm just going to say that in the 2 weeks, you did find what that went to. And that's going to be a little thing for you as the end of your little story, is that you hunted around. There was nothing in the house. There were no trunks or chests or closets or anything like that. And eventually you wandered around, and there was an old tool shed out back filled with a variety of old tools.
Right.
In various states of disrepair. And You thought little else there, but you did spend a little time using your structural engineering and studied a little bit more. And beneath a kind of a layer of what you thought was dust, but ended up sort of being like a piece of canvas made to look like a dirt floor. You pulled it back, and there was a trap door, which the key fits to. And below that was a very small root cellar.
Oh, Ron, you tricky little guy.
Yeah. And assuming that you went down into the cellar to examine it,
I did.
that is where you find the secrets of Umros.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So inside there was a small table and a variety of books. And it was, although slightly damp, he had a lot of wood chips and sawdust down there to keep it cozy. And there was some maps and sketchings and all the things that seemed to be related to the Earth Elders. But you do find his actual journal that talks about his real mission here. And you also find a few things that are a little disturbing. The key thing is you find out that, oddly enough, Umros seems to be or was a closet worshiper of Zakad, much like those strange dwarves out in the old monastery.
Oh.
He also seemed to be, his mission here was to uncover the secrets to an ancient weapon that the Earth Elders thought others might wish to use against the human kingdoms.
The Earth Elders want to use.
They want to prevent the use of it.
Oh, okay.
That there were possibly forces or dissidents from the dwarves that were seeking this ancient weapon from like the Celestial Infernal War. And they thought that perhaps one of these weapons was here in the Vale. And that was really why he was here, was he was trying to find the secrets of this thing. And now that mission has been imparted to you.
Did he have any notes on any thoughts of where it was, or
Nope. That's,
any dated times of when this journal was? Like,
I mean,
captain's log.
his most recent stuff was probably weeks ago.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
I would also like to. I did have that bag of jewels. I know you said off table, but is there anything in there that the kobold gave me? It said I detected magic in that, and I found one.
There was one, the ruby
Oh,
radiates faint conjuration magic that you guys had already had the opportunity before we did this to like spellcraft and whatever.
Mhm.
And as of this moment, other than identifying the faint conjuration magic, you don't know what it does.
Okay.
So presumably it's still on your person, and you guys can do with it as you wish.
So I found out that he was a follower then of the Zucros, right? That was his name?
Zakad.
Zakad, not Sucrose.
The sugar god.
The
so-
sweetener god.
There is
All
a
right.
sugar god, I'm sure, right?
All right, so we're gonna move along now. We can take questions at the end. Tommy, I'm imagining, and you can tell me otherwise, is that, after the first day of making sure everybody was okay and checking on Bree and the party and all that you basically went back home and, cleaned your house and washed your dishes and got your laundry done and realized, okay, I guess you have to go back to work. I mean,
Yep.
got to pay the bills. I mean, that's really,
Yeah, those taxes aren't going to pay themselves.
yep.
So back to work for me.
Yeah. And so here's what I would like to kind of, do this with you. So you get up and you do all your morning stuff and you go down to the docks and you kind of check in with the foreman there at the Scotch Woodcock Fishery. And I mean, everybody, like, they're all ready to work, but there's also that, the friendly rapport that you normally had. Like, people are like clapping you on the back, and it's like there's that little extra good on you, Tommy, that you're feeling a little center of the attention. And it feels, it feels good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, feels
Tommy's a
good.
big fan of that.
But it also feels a little weird. Like, all right, well, you go and you put in your first full day of work and do your stuff, and things like very quickly start going back to normal. But
Mhm.
you don't feel normal inside. Like, there's that feeling. Like, yeah, like there's a whole world out there now, and I don't know.
Sure.
So I'm thinking this is about 5 days after the event. You've just, spent the day working and kind of you coming off the docks and getting ready to head home. And there's that kind of the long, winding boarded walk that leads from the docks into the town.
Mm-hmm.
And, probably told some of your friends, maybe you'd meet them for a beer or whatever, the normal stuff. And as you're walking, you see a woman kind of with her arms over the rail looking out over the river. Yeah, his face really says it all. I'm imagining it would speak to Tommy, but a little bit.
Sure.
A little bit. Maybe just a little older than you. She's kind of wearing some somewhat practical but tailored traveling clothes.
Sure.
And she's got long dark hair pulled back. She's got an attractive, strong face. She's not overly effeminate. She's got like a toughness to her. You could just see it. She's well tanned. You probably do kind of like appraise her as you come. And you notice that she's wearing on her hip an arming sword. She's not your typical townie. You don't recognize her. And, as you come walking by, would Tommy call out? Would you say something?
No, I'm not going to cat call.
No, not cat call. Not cat call. Because she turns and looks at you and just is appraising you as you walk by.
Can I help you?
Well, possibly. I've been keeping an eye on you there. Tommy, is it?
Yeah, it's Tommy. Thomas, if you like.
Thomas. I've noticed you the last few days. I hear tell you've put on quite a feat recently, you and some friends of yours.
Well, just saved, I don't know, a lot of people. No big deal.
It's a big deal today. And everybody's going to be clapping you on the back and glad handing you and bringing you things. But they forget, the smiles are going to fade. Pretty soon, months will go by, and it's just going to be another day. Another day in the life of Thomas. But I think you might be more than that. What do you think, Thomas? Oh, and my name's Morgan. Morgan Gillett.
Morgan. So, what brings you to our town, Morgan?
Recruiting.
For what?
Let's just say a patron of mine is needing some local talent in the future, the very near future. And you look like you might be some local talent.
Talent for what?
Well, we'll get to that. This is more of a pre-screening conversation. You've accomplished something. You stepped out of the norm. You stepped up. Not everybody does that. Not everybody's willing to put their life on the line. Things are happening. Things in the bigger world. Dangerous things. Things that might eventually come to this lovely little Vale of yours. When that time comes, there's people who need people like yourselves to help shift things in the direction they want them to go. So, just seeing if you're interested in possibly exploring more than this.
Yeah, I suppose I could be talked into something.
Well, keep your friends close. Don't let them wander too far away. You might need a group of people you can trust at your back if you're willing to take a job for the right amount of coin soon.
I'll keep that in mind.
Nice. Well, Thomas, it was a pleasure to meet you. I'm going to be on my way, but I shall be back in the coming weeks. I'll check on you and see if you are ready to take action.
So I want to kind of flick my cap because I have my leather cap on.
Oh, yeah.
Give her a wink and say, don't check too hard now. And give her kind of a smile, and
she'll give you a smile back.
Old Tommy's got it still.
Okay.
So you're feeling, you would definitely probably feeling pretty good.
Sure.
And so if you continue on, you make your way and maybe glance back and you kind of just see her slipping out of sight between some buildings. And
sure.
Yeah. And that's the last of you see of her for a bit. She doesn't show up the next few days. And
okay.
Yeah, it looks like things are going back to normal. You keep checking on your sister and she's doing well. Healing well, almost back to normal. We'll come back to you and her in just a moment, kind of speed things a little on here. So, But let's quickly move over here on the Trunk. So Trunk, this is kind of an interesting scenario, right? Because this is not your hometown. I mean, you know the people that you've met here and a few others, and there definitely have been quite a few awkward conversations. I don't know how personable Trunk would be, like with people like wanting to bring him some stuff and thank him. I mean, he's pretty affable.
Oh, he likes people. He likes interacting. He loves food. So all that sounds great, but he's an awkward big boy. So
Yeah. So I had suggested at the end of last session that you had this invitation to go and stay at the Temple of the Five. Zephora Rondell, one of the 3 clerics there, who identified herself as a priestess of Asana, had invited you, like you sensed this kinship with you, and suggested that you are a worshiper of Asana, and then you basically said, "Who's that?" But had basically said, "What would you come back?" Now did have some invites from Tommy and Darun, like, "Oh yeah, we've got room," but I don't know. So did you take her up on that? I think we established you did to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's interested. He knows he's got a power. As far as he knows, it just comes from the sun or the tree. The idea that there's a name and some kind of organized following of something that he feels a kindred spirit to is going to intrigue him.
Yeah.
The idea of sleeping in a building seems confusing, but
it is a big building, so that may help.
Yeah, he'll definitely check it out.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a large, spacious temple, and there's a lot of activity there. You meet the other priests, but and they set you up kind of in a side wing where it's probably a multifunction room. If whatever they need, if infirmary or if they've got visiting priests, whatever. But just it's not really overly furnished, but they set up a kind of a large, comfortable pallet for you to stay in and to sleep in, and offer you some food and whatever else you might need. After the first day of kind of recovering from your journey, and you can kind of see what they do. They tend to the locals who come, and there's altars where people come and pray or give sacrifices and things like that. And they do a lot of just going around and do simple healings. And so Zephora basically, and I didn't really, describe her too much. She's kind of a middle-aged human woman. She wears white robes that they're always impeccably clean. And she's got long blonde hair, and she's got the kindest blue eyes that just she radiates warmth. So you're probably still adapting to humans in general, but I mean, she just has that feeling she genuinely cares about people. And she's always laughing, which there's, in your visions, the laughter that you kind of hear, and I don't know, it's oh, there's this weird.
Definitely a lot of similarities.
Yeah. Whether or not she's performing, it doesn't seem like it's performative. There's just that's just kind of her nature. So it's just probably enough to pique your curiosity. And she really just has a lot of questions for you, and she'll answer questions that you might have or questions you didn't know you had. But she's, she likes to talk about who she calls Asana, who was one of the Pentacle, the Laughing Lady. And it's less really, Asana, you'll find, doesn't have tenets the way that some of the other more formalized religions do. She is kind of this chaotic force, sometimes good, sometimes whimsical, sometimes unpredictable. But you find, I don't know how you would really feel about it, but it does. A lot of it lines up with your experiences, but not all of it, because you've had this more natural, primal sort of interaction. So, yeah, the scene that I'm imagining, you guys are perhaps in the temple, and she's showing you some books and things, and she's just again, so Trunk, so again, you were found by the Fae, or you identify as Fae, in the forest.
Yes, I was by a large tree.
And you said that the lady just came to you. Do you remember when that was? Like, was it very young?
She has always been there. The sun rises and she is there.
I've heard of cases like that where people such as yourself are touched. Chosen has always been so pretentious, so like there should be more to it, but you apparently have drawn at least a brief moment of attention, and it is very interesting.
Sure, my hands kind of unconsciously go to my arms where I've got these scars, marks, birthmarks, whatever they may be.
Have you felt like there's more for you? What it is that you're meant to be doing? You sounds like you've spent your life so far tending to your Fae family.
I imagine people don't usually ask questions that give Trunk much pause, but this one does. He kind of like pauses for a moment. I know that. I think I know that there's something I'm supposed to do, but I don't really know what it is. But the Fae, they're happy for the most part, but there's something missing. And I want to give it back to them. And I guess it can't be in the wood, or we would have found it by now.
Perhaps not. I can't speak to that. I don't know what it is the Laughing Lady would want of you, or why she would want to act on behalf of the Fae. She is, by nature, unpredictable. But obviously you have been selected, chosen, touched, whichever word is the most appropriate. And if there's anything I could do to help you on that path, I can teach you what I know about the lady and answer any questions that you might have. If you'll stay with us a while longer, it would be our honor. And it seems like you're already drawing a degree of attention to the temple. We've had quite a few people show up more recently in the last few days.
I mean, when you stand several heads higher than other people, you tend to be noticed.
Well, if you are willing, we're here for you for as long as you need.
Sure. I think probably that first night or the first morning, I'll probably do what I always do. Find the sunrise, just kind of sit to myself, think about the sun, the tree, etc. My kind of not really praying, but kind of praying that I do every day.
Right.
And this time I guess there might be thoughts, and I'll just kind of ask in my head, like, to the laughing girl if she is Asana or not.
So you don't really so much hear like her speaking directly, right? It's like these visions, the images, and you get the sense these messages come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the laughter that you get, that feeling, that is especially warm. Like
as close to a confirmation as I've ever gotten.
I want to say that it's like you instead of like hearing words in your head, it's like you give what you feel words, if that makes sense. And it's like, you found me, which is probably one of the more profound confirmations you've maybe experienced in some time. Like, yeah, that tells you that it is her, but it doesn't tell you much more beyond that yet.
I mean, I didn't expect that yet, but yeah, it sounds like I'm going to have to learn how to read or something.
Well, perhaps you can spend the next week working on that.
Trunk goes hooked on phonics.
Hooked on phonics.
Mhm.
Well, we already know he's got a shortcut where he can do the cast the spell and then go and start teaching himself.
Yeah.
I can learn how to read 10 minutes at a time.
All right. And yeah, in the interest of time, Bramble, sorry. You might be the most out of place right now. Like everybody really has gravitated to something, and they've just sort of been busy. And while you're there, and you've probably been staying with Zinnia and Bree, and I don't want it to be sad for you, but they have this connection, right? Like it's, it's not one that you've really had with, like a human child that way. And like your connections thus far are all your friends. This has been quite an adventure for you, and you've met a lot of people, and you've still been very well embraced and probably asked maybe even to perform. I don't know if that'd be something that you would choose to do.
Yes, definitely.
To hone your craft and go play at the tavern. But about a week after the event, you get a letter.
Ooh.
I know. It is actually a letter delivered by a sparrow.
Cool.
And the little bird, it's not a magical bird, but clearly it is magically guided.
Mm.
And you would suspect, probably from a fae when it comes flying into the window and drops the little note that's kind of tied up with a small piece of like vine. And when you open it up, it is a letter from Birch.
Oh.
So, and it's like, "Hi, Bramble. It's been some time since you helped us out in the woods. You really are good at that. The band's not doing great.
Oh. Oh, no.
We have 3 weeks till the performance now. We could really use your help. There's just something about the way that you led the band, and we just know that you would be the best to help us out to perform at the festival. The Ermine King is going to be dreadfully disappointed in the current state of affairs. We're missing you. Please come back. Yours truly, Birch." And then there's like little like flower designs all written on it. And like, that's it.
Ah, I see. Wow. They do sound like they need help. So
They do.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to leave without letting people know where I'm going. But
Right.
I probably.
I mean, you don't have to either rush off. I mean, it just, you've got a little time, but it's just, there's this call, and it's been weighing on your mind, now probably for the last few days. I don't know, if we want to do anything else for you in the town. I don't want to deprive you of anything, but like, you feel a little displaced, not unwelcome.
Mm-hmm.
You've never felt unwelcome, and Zinnia, no doubt, has loved to have you here.
Yes. And Birch is useless.
Yep.
So we're going to jump to Zinnia so that we can get on to more pressing things. But Zinnia,
Yes.
so you would think that things would just go back to normal. I mean, Bree is delightful and everything is, she's nearly fully recovered. You're getting to see Tommy even more. He seems to keep checking on her.
Yes, that's been great.
So after a few days, she feels like she's ready to go out and she wants to go out and go walking. And you go with her probably out just outside the town walls. And there's like fields of flowers where you kind of go collecting things for flower chains. And the two of you are out there walking. And I don't know how you just.
I'm flying.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're flying about looking for pretty flowers, and she's there, and she's got a nice little floral dress on, and she seems happy. Like you can hear her laughing and giggling. And Zinnia, look at this one. Oh, look at this little. Oh, look at the butterfly.
It's a relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Spring. Spring is coming on, and the weather's really changing, and. It was probably where you guys are sitting there, maybe having a little lunch that her mom packed. And she's like, Zinnia, I'm going to be 9 here in just 3 weeks.
Oh, 9.
Ma says I can probably get a job soon.
A job?
What? Just start an apprenticeship. As I think that's what they call it.
Okay, Zinnia doesn't even understand, a little bit. That just seems completely ridiculous. What in the actual...
Guess who learns a new word today?
Well, wait, don't you have what do you do, Zinnia? Do you have a job?
Yes?
Well, I mean, I know that you're a wizard, right?
Yes.
I know. I've been trying to decide. There's an apprenticeship open to possibly do weaving. I like doing the flower chains with you, and I've learned a bit on how to sew.
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Oh. What would you like to do?
I think you should become a wizard.
Oh.
You can be my apprentice. Apprentice?
Apprentice.
Apprentice. You can be my apprentice.
I don't know how to be a wizard.
You don't know how to be a weaver either.
Well, but what?
Why are you bullying the child?
Unexpected side turn.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, huh. I don't know. I don't know anything about how to become that. I mean, I'd like to be able to do that. Don't you have to be special?
Bree, you are special.
Well, I know you say that, but it's like, something inside you that makes the magic happen.
You have that.
I don't know. Maybe you can try to teach me.
Okay. Wizard apprentice.
You're a wizard, Brina Gunderson.
She's setting up her next character. Well, that conversation probably sounds like it troubles you.
Very much so. What are we doing? 9-year-olds are going to go get jobs?
Yeah,
What is this?
Unions haven't made it to the Vale, apparently.
What is this crap?
I mean, apprenticeships start very young.
Oh, so bad.
What do you want just kids to lay around and play games?
Where's the school?
They do have a school.
And they go until they're 9?
Yeah, that's all you need.
Well, no, she would still get some education. too.
Read, write,
Limitedly.
simple athletics.
I mean, I've made it to 19 without being literate, and I'm doing fine.
So here we are, 3rd grade education.
I'm going to be
Cool.
the mayor.
Go off.
Now weave some baskets.
Yeah.
We need to have a talk with that mayor. That's what we do.
I do appreciate the alternative of, a 9-year-old learning apprenticing to becoming a weaver is like, here's how you wield the elemental forces of fire.
All right. Well, it sounds like though that was a moment for Zinnia as like the reality that this child is still a child. That we're not trying to say anything different, but she's growing up. But how is like after that conversation, Zinnia, like that feeling that you've talked about where it's like, I don't know, when that where things are changing for you.
Wait, I'm getting really confused right now. Are we talking about Zinnia knowing, or are we talking about me as a person knowing?
No, like Zinnia knowing.
Oh, okay.
Like when, that restlessness or that worry or that things are changing and
Right now, Zinnia is just like gonna go have a serious conversation with Mother Gunderson.
okay.
Oh, no.
Because like,
You go give her an earful.
yeah.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
So we are going to be readying for a funeral, I'm guessing.
Okay. Well, we will leave it at that for now. But speaking of the mayor, so this is now like 2 weeks later. And thank you all for like bearing with this. Because we're moving on to something bigger now. So, Tommy, you actually get the message from the mayor, probably one of the runners, and just requests that if you could, you and your friends come to the mayor's house.
Sure. Is this for the party, or has that already?
No, that already happened.
Okay.
No, this is like a private invitation.
Yeah. Well, I will hop up and get right to collecting everybody.
So yeah, you get this private invite to the mayor's house. So I don't know if you want to quickly address everybody. It's a little cryptic, but it's basically saying your services are requested.
Sure. Well, I imagine I would have to get everybody, like physically go to the various houses to go collect everybody.
Yeah.
And explain. Looks like the mayor might need some more help. I don't know if you'd be interested, but he looks like he's looking for the whole gang. So just want to let you know. Kind of like that, because I don't want to tell anybody to come with me, but...
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know how you individually would respond to that, but...
I've been, going through all this stuff, but I've kind of gone into vacation mode because when I don't have really anything to do as far as, to watch me, I've decided to wear sandals around, and I'm just drinking a lot lately. I'm mourning in my own way. So
Darwin answers the door
it's
and
like Fat Thor
in his pajamas, hasn't shaved in 2 weeks.
Well, I'm a dwarf. I don't shave. Shaving.
Hey, Darwin. I caught ya.
I got some bread in my beard.
Caught ya too early, or?
Oh no, I'm ready for the day. What do you got, Chief?
Well, a missive came to meet with the mayor. They need the whole gang, so maybe we could acquire some pants and get you over there with us.
This tunic is long enough.
No, it's actually not.
Well, I suppose I got nothing better to do.
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be real good for you to get out of the house.
Well, let me maybe wash up, because I smell worse than the dog.
Well, we'll just meet you over there.
I suppose. It's good seeing you, Tommy.
Yeah, it's good seeing you, Dayroom.
I'm going to give him a big hug, like this really...
Great.
I've maybe changed. I've become maybe a little bit more soft inside the heart, and in trying to follow the ways of the ley lines.
Sure.
And let it guide me.
Okay.
It's a long explanation while we're hugging, right?
It was a little too long.
Feel the embrace. It's like being held by the earth.
Well, I would just be over there, buddy.
Okay, I'll pat him on the back pretty hard. Do a man hug, like patting him on the back really hard.
And I'm out.
Except for the height difference, that's a butt pat.
It's not my problem. It's more of a you problem, not a me problem. And now go tell Corda to get her stuff, and let's go. I will bathe, like a quick, a just towel kind of thing.
We'll assume you get cleaned up enough to go back
I
there.
suppose.
All right. So, Tommy, you find Trunk probably at the temple.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, Trunk.
Hello.
Got a note here from the mayor. He would like an audience with all of us. He's apparently got something he wants to cover. So would you be able to meet over there?
Yes. I'm already in town, so it is only a little walk over there.
Yeah, that is great. Appreciate it. And I'll give him the time and then explain to him what time is, because that's not probably a social construct that he's used to. And then we'll get going.
The sun invented
location
time.
Of the sun, yeah.
People didn't.
Right.
No, humans did invent time. You're wrong there.
So the sixth bell. So there's a clock tower, which is the tower where they have a gong.
Sure.
And they sound off the hours of the day.
Well, I will explain that.
Yeah.
Just very briefly.
Yeah.
And then
it might be the first time somebody's mentioned, oh, why is that guy banging on the gong throughout the day?
I assume that he's just very bad at music.
And then I will grab Bramble and Zinnia. I don't know if they're hanging out together.
I'd assume so, yes.
We're at your parents' house.
Zinnia, you seem upset.
Yes.
At me?
No.
Oh. Well, I actually came to ask a favor. So the mayor would like to talk with all of us today at 6 bell. He's got something he would like us to do. So I just wanted, would you be able to show up?
Are you going on another adventure?
Maybe, Bree. but I don't know what the mayor wants. Did you get the apprenticeship yet? The one for the weaver that Mom was talking about?
I'm still waiting to find out.
Okay, well.
Zinnia thinks I
Now.
should be a wizard.
Yes.
Oh, you should be a wizard. That
Yes.
would be awesome.
That's a much better apprenticeship for Bree, right?
Yeah.
You need to tell your mom to quit ruining Bree.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's like a future thing. But I'll get on it like straight away, Zinnia.
I've told her many times already.
It's super hot in here. Is anybody else? It's like, gosh.
I'm just going to go with you now.
Okay, that's great. Great. Bramble?
Yes, I will join.
Great.
On the way out, I'm going to yell at his mom again. Quit ruining your daughter!
I feel like Bramble would try to get out there ASAP. Like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm going with you.
Just imagine this woman's like, why? How do I get rid of? Looking at how to get rid of a fairy?
Just ripping into her while her being a mother, huh?
Looking at that frying pan.
Oh
She
dear.
hasn't got a chance.
And that's how your mom got an eye patch.
Hey, that's great. There's no love lost there for Thomas. Whatever happens, happens.
Gosh.
I suppose it's your mum, huh?
It's my mom.
It's your mum.
All right. So at the sixth bell, a lot of you meet at another large house on the hill, where you've had this invitation from the mayor Bernard Sackville. His house is really only marginally larger than the Gunnarsson house. There's really are no mansions per se in Raven Rock, but his manservant answers the door, opens it, and kind of nods at the lot of you. You're expected. Do come in, and he quickly escorts you into the parlor of the mayor, where you can see it's nicely arrayed with some comfortable couches, and there's already some little meats and cheeses out and some fresh wine. And you sit respectively or whatever you wish to do.
You sit on the floor, crisscross applesauce.
he just said that.
All right. Well, I'll grab myself a tray of food and some wine.
All right. So it's only a few minutes later where Mr. Mayor comes in. He's wearing kind of a comfortable, like silky black robe. He tends to wear like a lot of black robes. It seems to be like a symbol of his office. And comes in and gives you the warm greeting. It's like, welcome to my home. I haven't had the opportunity to have you here as guests yet.
Well, thank you for having us.
Oh, you are most welcome. I trust you've been doing well after your escapade.
Oh, yeah. Your town's been real great.
That's splendid. I'm very, very glad to hear that. Sometimes after these ordeals, it takes a little bit to recover, but it seems like you're doing quite nicely, which is one of the reasons I might be asking you here tonight. So I'm going to cut to the chase. By the way, did everybody get some wine and some? It seems like you have.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes and pours himself a glass of wine and sits down. So I'll get right to this. I'm interested to know if you would be willing to do a job on behalf of the town.
Yes.
Immediately. Trunk's got a mouthful of cheese.
What kind of job? We should probably find out, Tommy.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, what were you thinking?
Towards the western side of the Vale, there's a lovely area called the Dovedale District, which is largely it's a farming community. And turns out we got a note from the head of their farming cooperative that they are having some trouble there with the river drying up. And apparently they're trying to blame it on a goblin tribe. And they've requested assistance from us. Normally something like that would go to, perhaps the ducal seat, but given the situation, really there's not a lot of other resources that can help anybody else in the Vale.
Wait, what situation?
Well, I mean, we Oh, you mean with the duchy? Well, the fact that we don't actually have a duke proper, and it's complicated. We've really been on our own for quite some time, and the resources of the town have managed to take care of, what we can, but it is always nice to have persons such as yourself willing to perhaps step outside of their normal comfort zone. Normally, I would try to find some, hired freelancers to come do jobs like this. I could send some of the garrison, but it is quite expensive to, send some of our fine soldiers over there. So, what we're looking for is to have somebody go investigate the cause of this drought and see if it is in fact goblin hijinks, so to speak.
And is the expectation that we just report back, or do we take care of the problem?
We need the problem, whatever it may be, to be resolved to the satisfaction of the local farming cooperative.
So, yeah, I could help with that. Well, I could have a question, is what I meant to say. Zinni, I think that I asked my question to you earlier. Could you repeat it?
What is the expected compensation for this?
That's right.
I mean, he just said that he could not afford to pay anyone, so I think he wants us to do it for free.
Oh, no. It is probably less expensive to send yourselves instead of half a dozen of my finest.
Well, we should find out what you consider less expensive.
Well, the farming cooperative is offering 100 silver to deal with the problem. You could always try to negotiate for more from them. But in addition to that, on behalf of the city, I'm quite willing to double that amount by giving you another 100 silver. So that should cover your expenses to travel there. And if anything else maybe arises, we could help you out further.
So we're doing it for free. We just get a per diem.
No.
Covering our expenses?
Well,
It would more to cover the expenses.
I don't have to live off 100. I mean, I could find a way to live off 100, it's dividing it 20 silver, I mean, I got nothing else to do.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm really in a rut
the trip
here.
would really do you some good.
I could get out there and get some fresh air.
And quarter too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And she immediately gets up and however a dog can smile and say yes.
Comes away from the cheese platter.
Yeah.
So, Xenia,
Cindy is so annoyed with you guys right now. She doesn't even need money and she's annoyed with you guys.
we could do it, is what I was thinking.
Be like the old times, 2 weeks ago, Zinnia.
Yeah.
I'm just not excited about leaving Bree at this time. I would really need to check with Bree. I mean, she's going through some stuff, this whole apprenticeship, this job thing. I'm not 100% sure if I can commit to this low-paying gig.
It's not low paying, it's average paying, which is slightly better.
How about you just give your share to Bree then? Well, you're concerned about her. I mean, wouldn't that get her in a financial position where she doesn't have to take apprenticeship?
Isn't there that wizard in town?
No, I'm the wizard in town.
Oh,
No, there was one.
yeah. Like a high-powered wizard.
Maybe I've totally
well,
dropped the ball on this.
no,
but
there is.
I thought Havlor was in town,
Yeah.
and he's a wizard, right?
Yeah. He's in town.
So maybe Bree could apprentice with Havlor while we go out and take care of the problem.
I think you're missing the point.
I think the point
I
is
think you're missing the point.
I don't think she wants to go.
What if
Well,
you asked
that's
the
fine.
mayor to give Bree a temporary
The mayor is
spot
not
here in town? That would then keep her from this other apprenticeship, and clearly her mother would be like, oh, that's way better than you learning how to
Yeah.
do whatever we were going to do.
that's a great idea. Trump has a great idea. And we'll get on the road.
I don't think you are picking up on
She can-
Zinnia's angry angry fairy noises. These are
No.
angry fairy noises.
She
He
Mine.
is,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, the alternative
I mean,
is you
it's-
bring her along with us, and then maybe she drowns in the river. So maybe not that one.
And I strictly would be very upset and would not be on board with her coming with us.
I need to talk to Bree before I commit to this low-paying, and I look at the mayor, opportunity.
Can you spice it up a bit, Mr. Mayor? Just can you give us some? I mean, if it was up to me, we would already be shaking hands right now. But as our group wizard, we need her, and she's, right on the fence. It's just right on the edge of the
Oh,
knife.
I see. I totally understand. And you're new to the negotiation business, and you're not really licensed freelancers, but I can respect your positions as recently prominent citizens of the town. Perhaps we could make it 200 silver, plus the 100 that you can also negotiate up from Mrs. Coggs, the head of the cooperative.
I mean,
So, and give me 24 hours.
okay, well, that's fine, but I solved half the problem.
And I just said I just want to talk to Bree.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, could we maybe give you an answer tomorrow?
Of course. I mean, there is some degree of urgency. Mind you, if the river does dry up and leads to a drought, and then we've got
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we
farmers
get it.
losing their crops and
Okay.
people are out of
We need-
money and
The guilt trip
Right.
Okay,
is not working.
okay,
All right,
but
but
it's
yes.
not going to dry up tomorrow, and if it did, us going there wasn't going to solve nothing.
Right. It's my
Right, so
responsibility.
easy there, Bernie.
Putting that
Okay?
kind of on us, like we're the problem now.
oh, let me know. Let me know tomorrow.
Will do. And I will leave the house.
I'll bow at the waist.
He'll nod to you. And you enjoy your little repast, and then you can take your leave.
And on the way out, I smack all of them on the head.
What? What
I
was
didn't
that
even
for?
say anything.
Barry, I'm kind of.
Okay. I smack all of them but Bramble on the head. Because it wouldn't really help to smack Bramble on the head. Because
No, I've
I
got
feel some really negative vibes here.
Yeah,
Maybe we
I
just
don't
need to,
even know what I did wrong.
I just said
find
I
our
wanted to talk to
center.
Bree first. I don't understand why that is such a difficult request.
Oh, I thought that was like a negotiation
Code. Yeah, it was like a
tactic.
code.
No, that was me saying I wanted to talk to Bree first.
Oh,
Nobody said you couldn't.
Yes, you were all pressuring me to say yes right there on the spot. Like literally, that's what just happened.
no, I was going to say yes regardless. To
Well,
be
then you
totally,
could say yes. But
Well, I did 3 times.
I just got to get away from this. It's got to chill for a bit. This is a little bit too much for me.
Go sit on a ley line.
Oh, you guys.
There's some hurtful things coming from her.
It's
It's a big attitude for a little one.
yeah.
Okay, go talk to Bree.
You go try living with his mother.
No.
I mean, I got to be.
Don't put that curse on me.
I'm on her side when it comes to that, right? It's very stressful.
Bree could be my apprentice as well. I could talk to his mom because I need a new apprentice for my job. Wink, wink. And she could be my apprentice, but you could be training her the whole time.
Okay.
But he's not a dwarf.
No, they don't have to be a dwarf to build things.
Yeah.
That's very, very,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you meant.
No, see, I'm building things around here and I do construction.
I see. I
I'm
thought
really
you
just a
meant.
fancy construction worker. So a
Okay.
subcontractor actually now. So I need construction people to work for me, and she could be my apprentice. Wink, wink.
I don't really see that as. Okay.
She doesn't have to do anything. It's like it's just a job. Pretend.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I want to go talk to Bree.
So we're gonna just really quick. We're gonna jump to that scene before we. So, sounds like later on you're gonna have a cold conversation as everybody goes back to finish out their day, and you're gonna have a quick conversation with Bree. It sounds like.
Yes.
At which point you're going to say, "What did the mayor say?"
So the mayor wants us all to go on a job for the town or for the farmers who are on the west side of town to find out what's going wrong with the river that feeds their crops. And it might be a little bit dangerous, but Bree, I don't want to leave you. You just got better, and I'm worried about your mom making you become a weaver.
Oh, Xania, it's okay. I'll be fine. It sounds like Tommy may really need you. I don't want anything to happen to him. What if he goes off and gets hurt and you're not there to keep him safe?
But he'll have Dayrun and Trunk and Bramble.
I think it's a good thing. I think you probably would enjoy spending some time with Tommy, and you can go and use your magic and keep them all safe.
But what about your mom?
It's fine. I can take care of Mom.
Are you going to become a weaver while I'm gone?
I don't know. No, not while you're gone. You'll be back in a few days.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I will let everybody know.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Okay.
We didn't want to have to kidnap you.
Bree says I should go.
That's
All right.
great. I'll let the mayor know.
All right. You pass the word around, and he will hand you a sack of coins to take with you, and then you can purchase anything you may need before you go. We can take care of anything off air.
Okay.
And I think that we will you basically have the rest of the day to grab anything you need, prepare yourselves for an outing. You can expect to be gone probably for, 5 or 6 days, maybe.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Getting ready for the next adventure.
The reluctant heroes, a little bit.
Well, that's the best kind of hero.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for doing this with me.
Hey, I got y'all a bunch more money.
Hey, yeah, you
Yeah.
doubled our money.
Yeah. Well,
Well, not quite.
Well,
but right
really,
there.
Tommy did that.
That was pretty good.
It was
It's a good cop, bad cop thing.
I mean, it is up to you guys to negotiate. So, all right. Well, again, thank you. We will begin the next session with Back on the Road, ready to perform more heroics.
okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Next time.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed our show and want more, please leave us a rating and review on whichever platform you use. And of course, feel free to share us on social media. We'll be back next week with more adventures in the world of Tellus. To tide you over, you can read more about the cast, characters, and the world of Tellus at adventuresedgerpg.com. And if you're going out on your own adventure, remember, we are all the hero in our own story. But some of us are villains in other people's stories. Stay safe out there. A hook-nosed man wearing a fine brown cloak stepped out of the rain and into the long, low-ceilinged tavern. A crowd of laborers filled the room with shouts and laughter, thumping their flagons for more ale, as a pair of women danced with scarves and bells on the small center stage beneath the haze of pipe smoke and glowing blue lights. He made his way through the crowded tables and up the short steps in the back that led to the private booths, slipping through the curtain in the corner and sliding in across from a bald man with beady eyes. "Nerval," he greeted the man. "Don't call me that, Osbert." "Oh, don't fuss, Nerval. No one can hear over the din. And in a moment, no one can hear us at all," Osbert said, as he slipped a silver amulet out of his tunic, rubbing the green stone which began to slightly glow. He poured himself a glass of wine from the bottle already at the table. "So tell me about these interlopers and how you're going to fix this problem. I'm not seeing much desperation going around." The bald man took a long drink of his own. "They're nobodies, wannabe heroes." "Well, these nobodies, as you say, saved too many lives. We can't have them interfering in the next part of the plan. Don't worry about that. An opportunity has presented itself to get them out of the way for a while. And if all goes well, maybe they will go off and get themselves killed in the process. We shall see, Nerval. We shall see. His lordship won't be rewarding failure, and I don't plan on failing. Neither do I. We will both be very rich when this is done. Very, very rich.